What's up, guys? What's up, and welcome back to Ubuntu Podcast, presented to you by HaXans TV. And today's episode is all about navigating career transitions in a spiritual manner. I'm your host with the most, the man with the plan, Steven Hazan. As I always tell you, people, that is HAXans for all you blessed souls out there. And welcome yet again to this wonderful podcast that has now been upgraded by our failures. Our failures have upgraded us, and here we are today. We are not looking back at whatever has happened, we are looking forward at whatever we are making. And right now, we are making beautiful content for each and every one of our listeners. So do not be the person who hasn't subscribed or doesn't like any of my content, because I know you like my content. I know you vibe with what I'm saying, and I know you actually understand and get what I'm saying. I'm not the type of people who will come here and try to make big words, or give you things that you won't understand. I'm giving you exactly what you'll understand, how you'll understand it, when you are able to understand it. And we usually go step by step. We do not rush into things, and as you all know, we go right into the topic at hand. This topic is very personal to me. It's a topic that I would say touches a little bit of who I am, it touches everyone, because at some point in our lives, everyone has had a career. And it always is a war. It's a war in our minds. And what war am I talking about? It's a war between doing what we want and doing what we love, doing what we have to do to survive, and actually doing what we really like doing on a occasional basis. And this is the challenge that many other young people like me face in the world today. People my age and people who are actually now coming into the workforce, people who are now entering the workforce. And in a place like Kenya, you can't sit around and wait for opportunities to open up for you. You actually go ahead and create opportunities for yourself. So some of us had to finish high school and get into the into business as quick as possible, to make ends meet for ourselves and for our families. But yet again, you find yourself in a situation whereby you're in an office, or you're in a working environment, a place that you do not like, you do not love, you do not like what you're doing, you have no passion for it, but you have to do it. Why? Because you need the money to survive. And this is the challenge that many young people face in the world today, of finding their passion and purpose in the workplace. But what happens when you do find it and then realize that it's time to move on to something else? How do you navigate that transition? Okay, so for many of you listening to me right now, and who have been listening to me, for the few people who actually tune in to listen to my many long talks, I usually talk about a lot about what's this, so to speak, finding your purpose and finding your passion in life. And I have many videos that I've uploaded that are talking about how to find your purpose and how to find your passion. And I'm always keep reminding everyone to go back to my previous content, to actually watch those videos and actually engage with them and learn from them, because without that particular content, you won't be able to understand where we are coming from and where we are going to. So I'll ask you to go back to that content, listen to it. I know it's a little bit long because I talk so fucking much, but I usually talk something that's going to help you, something that's going to elevate you, something that's going to motivate you. But don't worry about it. Still, for anyone who's listening to us and who's a new listener, you can still catch on to what we're talking about right now. So do not worry. Even without any prior knowledge, you still can understand what we're talking about. So, perfect example is me. All right, I'm going to give you my own personal experience of what happened to me, and this happened to many other people. And it's during the one time that we saw the world almost coming to a standstill, and this is the coronavirus time. At this time, many of you might have not started working. Many of my listeners right now might have not started working, or at this time, probably you're not doing anything serious. But for those many of you who actually were working during the coronavirus period, my oh fucking my, you are the one who felt the pain. You felt the crush, because one, you are in a position whereby you are getting steady income, and then all of a sudden, it's either your company tells you that they need to be paying you half of what they used to be paying you on a monthly basis, or if you're not going to take that option, they either are going to have to cut you off from the employee list, from the pay list, and you don't want to get cut off. So you have to work for these people, probably give them double the services for half the pay that you used to get. And it used to fuck with a lot of people's minds, because it used to be like, am I really going to stay in this office and work for this person, give him double my effort for half the pay, for a job that I don't even like doing, for something that I'm not even interested in doing? I'm building his life while my life is fucked up. Is that what this is? And it creates such a cognitive dissonance in your head. It's a war between what you're supposed to do and what you're doing. And I'm going to give you a personal experience for myself. At this time, bro, I was working as a digital marketer for a particular company. I will not disclose the company. Me and the company had rubbed shoulders for a very long time. And when coronavirus hit, they found a perfect excuse to let people go. And one of the people who was let go was me. But I was not let go because of coronavirus. I was let go because of other many stupid allegations that they had against me. Which I wouldn't say they were false. I wouldn't say they were true. They were allegations. It is what it is. Ain't nobody pointing fingers around here. But still, I got fired. I got axed. So I got axed, and I'm like, okay, so what do we do next? So at this time, mind you, I'm living at my mom's house. So I'm not paying any bills. I'm not doing anything. All the money that I was getting was either going to women, to the club, to alcohol, to drugs or something of the sort. It wasn't like going to fund me or no savings account. I was not doing anything like that. I was still having my own mind of a kid. And still I'm developing from that mind, and that's what this show is all about. By the way, many of you people log into this place thinking that I'm here to motivate you. No, I actually do this thing to motivate myself. I'm actually here talking to myself, having a conversation with myself, but I'm having it out loud. And I usually thought, and I came to think that all the conversations that I usually have with myself, why don't I record it and share that wisdom with other people, and anyone else who can hear what I'm my inner thoughts can actually benefit from such stuff. And so most of the times that you see me here giving you this podcast, it's usually just me advising myself, counseling myself, or just like bringing myself back to my sheet. So what else I was saying? So yeah, I got fired, I got axed, and after I got axed, I was not doing anything. I was still trying to develop, I was still trying to grow as I am still doing right now. And what really happened at this particular time is I became jobless, and I didn't have as much money as I used to have. This means if I used to go to the club like five times in a week, I couldn't afford it anymore because I didn't have the money. So all my friends would be like, yo, Steve, you ain't coming to the club, you ain't coming to this place, you ain't coming to that place. I didn't have money though. I didn't have money. I didn't have the money to actually go to these places. So when you get some type of money, you don't want to tell your friends you don't have money because they'll see you like a dumbo. So I used to hide it. And what I used to do is what used to happen is either I would at times steal from my mom a couple of thousands. If not, I would ask for loans. So I had Fuliza loans, loans from the bank, loans from anywhere, just to go and impress my friends and sustain this lifestyle that I had created for myself, a lifestyle that I couldn't actually afford. And it was fucking me up miserably. And that transition from being employed to not being employed screwed me up completely, because it dug me so deep into the ground I couldn't even fucking imagine. But I soon came to realize that my friends realized that something was wrong, because I wasn't acting as if I used to. I became so stressed. Financial stress is a whole nother topic that we will deal with soon. And then I was like, fuck me, so I have to actually get a job. So I started looking for jobs, but no jobs were taking anyone at that time. But one of my relatives, my aunt, actually had a job, and she was like, "Yo, if Steve is just sitting in the house idling around smoking marijuana, why doesn't he get his lazy ass and come actually work for me?" And people are like, "What job are you offering?" And it was a fucking groundskeeper job. I was the groundsman. Do you know like Willie the groundskeeper from The Simpsons? That's who I was. I was a groundskeeper for an actual school. That means sweep. I had to sweep the ground, collect the leaves, rake the grass. I mean, cut the grass and rake it off, burn it, make sure the whole compound is clean. They had a swimming pool, so I had to make sure the swimming pool is clean and it has correct pH levels with good chlorine and so on and so forth for the babies to swim. I had to make sure that the whole compound is clean. That means the fence have been edged properly, have been cut properly. Everything, just the environment, the general, like a groundskeeper will do basically. And it demanded a lot from me than my previous job actually demanded. My previous job was a digital marketer. I was a digital marketer, and a digital marketer basically is just sitting in front of a fucking laptop, bent over on your laptop, just typing away on your keyboard. And for a while, I took that job for granted. And when I actually took it for granted, and I lost it, I regretted it, because the job that I got next was a groundskeeper. And a groundskeeper's job, man, you had to wake up early in the morning. By like 5:30 I was up. I couldn't afford transport to get me like a cab from my home to work, so I had to walk all the way to work, because I don't have money no more. I have no money and I'm in debt, so I have to walk from my home all the way to my groundskeeper job. And I have to get there as early as 6 a.m. in the morning, because the children start getting to school at around 8. So I have to get there at 6 and start preparing the school between 6 and 8, so that by the time that the children get there by 8, the school is already clean and properly kept for them to actually come inside the school, bro. So yeah, story of my fucking life. So I was out here cutting grass, mowing lawns. I just like 3 months ago, I used to wear a suit and tie. Flashback to a few months after. Now I'm wearing the one piece. What do they call it? The one piece overall. Yeah, I'm now wearing the one piece overall cutting grass. I used to work on a keyboard. My working tool was a keyboard. Now my working tool is a slasher. Like shit changed. My working tool was my phone. Now my working tool, is an axe and an edge to cut, to chop wood. I mean, shit changed. Shit actually fucking changed. And it took me a lot of mental and physical ability to actually transition from this blue collar or white collar, so to speak, job of suit and tie to this blue collar, hard handyman, hands on deck type of job. And another thing that also fucked with my mental was, apart from the fact that I had to walk and I was also in debt, which is also crazy, I was also not receiving as much money as I was receiving from my other job. So the digital marketing job was paying me good money. This one was paying me horrible money. I don't think I can actually say it. Yeah, I can say it. Who gives a fuck? So the digital marketing job was giving me around 25,000 basic salary. That's Kenya shillings, which is not as much money if you think of it, but it's so much money for an 18-year-old. I was 18 at that time, and I was earning 25,000. For an 18-year-old, that nigga is balling. So I'm earning 25,000 basic salary, and I used to earn also commission on the sales that I make per month. So in a bad month, I'll make like 35,000-40,000. In a good month, I'll make 50,000-70,000. In a good month, there's a month I made 50, which I was proud for myself. In a good month. That was the digital marketing job. And I took that money for granted. I never saved it. I was just splurging and, never had a plan for that particular amount of money that I was incurring at that time. And now here I am, and I have a groundskeeper job. I'm sweeping leaves from the sidewalk, and I'm earning 15,000 per month basic salary. There's no commission, there's no nothing. That's like fixed salary, 15,000, and that 15,000 also had deductions. So I was earning like what, 13,000, 12,000 at times. So it was fucked up. You're earning less. And then what used to be more fucked up by me is I was earning less money, and then I still wanted to sustain this lifestyle that I had with my friends and so on and so forth. This lifestyle that I had created for myself of partying and staying all night and doing this and doing that. I still wanted to sustain that lifestyle with the money that I was getting. Why? Because at that time I was living with my mom. I was not paying bills, I was not paying anything, I was not doing anything. Mom used to cook, lights was there, Wi-Fi was there, water bill was there. So I was not paying anything. All this 12,000 still was going directly to my pocket. So I would use it to go, have fun and so on and so forth. I was not investing it in any business or in anything in my life. I was just a 19-year-old kid earning money. So you can fucking imagine, bro. So, shit. Actually, even talking about it makes me regret it, to be honest. But not really. So, you can see how detrimental my life was. You can see how devastating of a situation I put myself in. I was at a point in my life where I had not realized myself. I hadn't realized who I was and what I was doing. And everything that I was doing was either to please my friends or to please other people. All the money I got was for someone else. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for no purpose. It was not for anything particular for myself. And this is the first thing that I want to talk about. It always begins with the purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? Once you can answer that fucking question, then everything that comes as a result of what you're doing will have a purpose. It will be guided towards something. It will not just be money to lay around with, but it will be money that you'll be using for a particular cause. Why are you doing what you're doing, bro? I never had a why. I never knew why I was doing what I was doing. And most of you lot who's listening in right now, you're in the same situation as me. I mean, you know what you're doing, but you do not know why you're doing what you're doing. You're seated in that office, or you're seated in that job, whichever thing that you're doing. You're sitting in that office or in that dead-end job, and you do not know what you're doing in your life for yourself. I've had my fair share of career transitions. Trust me. I've had my fair share of career transitions, and the story I've just given you right now is just about one of the stories. I have many other stories I can share with you. Alright? Like per se, the first job that I had was selling marijuana. I was selling weed by the roadside. I was a plug. I can't say that was a job, but it still gave me food, so I was selling marijuana. 2, I started selling fast food by the roadside. So in Kenya we have like these baked potatoes that people like on the roadside. So I started selling baked potatoes by the roadside. That was my second job. But that job, I was a phone repair guy. I used to repair phones. I used to repair actual phones. My fourth job was now the digital marketing job that I'm telling you about. And then after the digital marketing job, I now got the groundskeeping job. After the groundskeeping job, I now went back into digital marketing, and I bounced back into who I was supposed to be. And I'll get to that in a second. But you can see from my past experiences that I've not only done one job, I've actually done some few shits to actually be able to talk about this thing from a place that I understand. And I can tell you per se, if you do not have a purpose of why you are doing what you're doing, that thing will never serve you, and will never give you the commitment that you deserve. It will never give you the satisfaction that you deserve. You'll just be sitting there in that dead-end job day after day after day, slaving for that boss, and you'll never grow, you will never learn, and you will never become anyone if you do not know why you're doing what you're doing. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. So if you have not heard my previous podcast about finding your purpose and knowing the meaning of why you're doing what you're doing, go back and listen to my previous podcast, fam. You need that shit. You need it. You need to know how to navigate and change, to navigate the changes of the work environment, and that's the first thing. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. All right. So for me, one thing that has helped me the most in staying true to my passion and purpose is knowing what drives me. When you know what drives you, it is easier to make a decision about your career path. You have to know what drives you, and that takes me back to the why that I was saying. You have to know what drives you so that you can make decisions of what you're going to do and how you're going to do them, when you're going to do them, how you're going to do them. You have to have that driving force. Don't get me wrong, this even applies for people who do the things that they love doing. Yeah? Even the people who have the talent, you have to have a why. Listen to me. You might be the best football player, you might be the best, you might have the talent of singing the best, but if you do not have a why are you singing? Yes, you know how to sing. Yes, you have the voice of singing, but why are you singing? What is the cause? What is the purpose of you singing? If you don't have that why, that drive, then that singing will never bring any satisfaction to you. And now are you getting what I'm trying to say? For example, me, I love digital marketing. Bloody hell, I love digital marketing. I do it, and I do it from the bottom of my heart. It's easy for me. I do it because I understand it. It took me some time, I understood it. But then, because I didn't have a why of why I was doing digital marketing, it failed. I got fired. I got axed very, very quick. I also learned the importance of taking risks and trying new things. Sometimes the best way to figure out what you want to do is just to fucking do it, bro. That's number 2. Take risks. Take risks. Because if you don't take risks, you never actually get to know new things. You never get to learn new things. That's the point. Without taking risks, you do not open your world to new possibilities. That's what taking risks does. Every time you take a risk, you open a new possibility. Take it like a PlayStation game. For the guys who like playing PlayStation, like Call of Duty or something of the sort. Every time you take a particular risk, you unlock a new possibility. You unlock a new achievement. You unlock a new level of yourself. Every time you take a risk. And it's the same thing. Even in actual life, you have to take a risk. Now you see, for me, I got fired from the digital marketing job from company A. And yes, I could have said, okay, fine, I'm going to sit here, I'm not going to do anything. But okay, yes, because I also wanted to sustain my lifestyle and impress my friends, because that was my why. Imagine, that was my why. My why was sustain my lifestyle and impress my friends. You can see how much I had such a puny reason to work. I had such a very stupid, so to say, reason. That was my purpose. My purpose was, I'm here on a daily, working my ass off so that I can get money to sustain my lifestyle and please my friends. That was the reason why I was waking up every morning. It is such a pissing way of living life, and that was what I was. And some of you are all the same. If you look at why you're doing what you're doing, you come to realize, man, you shouldn't even be doing it at all. You're better off not even doing it at all, to be honest. Some of you are better off not even doing that job. Trust me. As a matter of fact, probably even that job is causing more harm than good to you. I already talked about the why, and I'll try not to go back to it. The next point that I was talking about is taking risks. So you see, me, I didn't sit down and I was like, okay, fine, now I'm fired. Even though, yes, I had a puny reason of why I was doing what I was doing, still, that was my motivation. My why was my motivation. And it motivated me enough to understand that I cannot sit here and do nothing. I'll rather go and get another job. And of course, I got another job. And you have to take risks. You have to open up your world. You have to open up your possibilities. And the only way to open up your possibilities or unlock your levels is by taking risks. You have to take risks, because the more you take risks, the more you open up new possibilities for yourself. The more you open up new levels of your consciousness and the new levels of your life experience as a human being and as a human soul in this earth. You have to take risks. go into that business that you think that you fear, that business that you usually fear doing. Do it. Go and do it. Start and stop thinking so fucking much about it. You see, the problem with you people, you think too much about it. You want to start a business, and now you are like, oh, because I want to start a business, what am I gonna do first? I have to have a logo. After having a logo, I have to get a slogan. After having a slogan, I have to find a brand name. After finding a brand name, I have to find brand colors. After finding a brand color, I have to now go and do brand research. Bro, really, bro, you don't have the time. By the time you've taken all that fucking time to do all this branding, to do all this bullshit, all you're doing is procrastinating. You're procrastinating. You're just building an excuse of an excuse of an excuse for you not to start that business. You're building an excuse of an excuse of an excuse of why you should not get employed into that job, bro. You're just building excuses. Do it. Just fucking do it. Start doing it. If you're a podcaster, someone who wants to start a podcast, stop saying, oh, now, first I have to, first I need to create a YouTube logo. And then after I create a YouTube logo, I have to create a YouTube persona. And then after a YouTube persona, I have to find a name for my YouTube channel. Then I have to find a name for my videos. Of course, these are things that you'll have to think over. But these are things that you do not have to spend so much time making them excuses for you not to actually start doing the fucking podcast. Do you get my point? You lot make excuses so that you don't start what you're supposed to start in the first place. And what this does, it makes you slow pace towards your purpose. You need to start it, and you need to start it now. If it's that business, fucking start it. If it's that makeup YouTube channel that you want to start, boo-boo, start it. Stop caring about what other people think. Take that risk and fucking do it. Some of you will say, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I do not have a podcast kit. I don't have a microphone. I do not have a software to edit. Bro, those are fucking excuses. You think right now I have a podcast kit as we're talking? No, I don't have a podcast kit. I'm actually using my phone. Shit, I'm using my phone, and then I'll take this audio, put it in Filmora, edit it for a while, and then post it. I'm using what I have. But we usually use excuses. Stop excuses, bro. You have to do it. Just jump into it. Jump into it, because you're the only one who's going to save yourself, bro. No one is going to save you apart from yourself. Not even Jesus is going to come and give you that new job unless you go and start applying. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Unless you go and start applying, Jesus won't even give you that job, bro. Jesus only gives the job to those people who actually go and start applying. And then he will say, for the ones that you've applied, I choose this one. And then that's the one that you follow. You get what I'm talking about, bro? Stop sitting on your ass hoping for a miracle. You gotta do it. Just go ahead and fucking do it. Stop thinking twice and stop thinking so much. Stop overthinking. And this used to be something that I have. And a lot of spiritual motherfuckers actually do. We overthink a lot of shit. We sit around and we overthink a lot of shit. And when we overthink, what we do? We build fake imaginatory circumstances in our heads of things, of future events that have not yet happened. So we start building occasions or events in our heads of things that have not even happened yet. And it's so freaking devastating, bro. You can't live such a life. It's puny. You can't live such a life. You have to build courage within yourself and do what the fuck you're supposed to do. Stop sitting down and being a pussy. You have to do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to do it, bro. I hope that has really, 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 really gotten inside of, your heads. Because you need it. Take a risk. Bro, you need to take a risk. Stop listening to what other people say. Stop listening to all those voices in your head. some of us spiritual people, we have so many fucking voices in our heads. We listen to so many people at the same time. We want to please everyone at the same time, and then we end up hurting ourselves in the process. Bro, do it, and do it for you. You know you have that voice of singing, but you're always shy because you don't know what your sister will say or what your friend will say. That's on you. That's on you. You're the one who's not taking the risk. Take that risk. Go to that studio. Produce that song. If you cannot afford that studio session, take your phone and record it from your phone, and then go show your friend and ask her, how do you hear this? You need to take that risk. If you're a website developer who wants to start that website developing company or agency, you need to start by developing your own website. Start by creating your website, your own portfolio website, and then you grow from there. But you have to fucking start. Bro, I wouldn't be here creating videos worth 40 minutes if I didn't start with the videos worth 15, 10, 20 minutes. Those videos that I started with, the few videos that I have, are the ones which motivate me right even today to continue creating the many podcast videos that you guys are going to hear in the foreseeing coming future, and even right now as I speak. You understand? You dig what I'm talking about? You have to, bro. You have to take that risk. Don't care what other people will say. How many people do you think listen to my podcast? Okay, fine. I have like 20 to 23 constant listeners. Those are like my people. I have 20 to 23 people who always listen to me. Those are my people. Out of those 20 to 23 people who always tune in to listen to me, bro, the people who actually get the things that I'm saying are like 5 of you lot. Do you think I really care about what you people think about me when I'm talking about these things? No, bro. Because I know I'm doing it for a bigger purpose. I'm doing it for for something which is greater than myself. I have a bigger why now. So you need to find your why, and you need to take risks. You need to take risks. Alright? Third is you need to change your mental. Number 3 is you always have to know how to change your mental. Change your mental, and change your mental ASAP. Don't sit around and wait for people to coach you. Some of you lot come into my DMs or come into my my WhatsApp inbox, and you try asking me for advice for things that you already know the answers to. It's like you're asking me, if I put my finger in this fire, will it burn? You know that it will burn, but you are coming to me to ask me for advice so that I tell you no. So that I tell you yes, it will burn. Don't put it, so that now you get the reassurance that you want. No, bro. Stop that shit. You know what to do. Just fucking do it, and change your mental. You have to change your mental. You see, the problem with me is that I didn't change my mental. I had been fired from my digital marketing job. I was now broke, in debt, and earning less money than I was used to. But still, my mental was not well equipped. I was still living my past lifestyle, and I didn't adjust to my current being, to my current situation. Some of you lot need to understand and come to reality. You need to come back down to reality and realize where you are. Some of you are not even living in your means. You're not living by your means. You know you can't afford a Gucci bag, but you want to buy a Gucci bag to impress your peeps. Live within your means, bro. Change your mindset, change your mentality. Know fact from fiction. Know that the reality is here, and then adapt as quickly as possible. Spiritual people need to have that mindset of adaptivity. Quick. You have very quick reflexes that you're able to switch your mind so quickly to realize, oh, now we're in a fucked up situation. We need to now act in a different way. So you need to change your mentality as quickly as you can and move on as quickly as you can. Some of you lot are still hanging on to your past mental ways. You're hanging on to your past behaviors, hanging on to your past objectives, and you're wishing for new results. That's not the case. That's not what's gonna happen. You have to take charge, bro. You have to take charge of what you're doing. Finally, last but not least, you need to have a supportive network of family and friends that can make all the difference during any career transition, or that can make the difference during any transition in your life. You need to have a very strong family and friend network. Now, this is a little bit difficult for me to speak about, because for me, I've never support is very, 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 very different. So you need to know who you're dealing with, know who to trust, know who not to trust. Find a very, very small circle of people that you can fuck with. If you still haven't developed the mental capability to fuck with yourself and vibe with yourself, you need people who you can vibe with. So I usually ask people to find a very, very small circle of people who understand you, who have gone through the same things as you, who are in a capacity to give you advice. So always find people who are either older than you, people who can actually give you advice, who can actually tell you, don't do this because I've actually been there. Always look for a supportive network of people who will always back you and will correct you as well when you're in the wrong. You do not need any negative energy near you at any time of transition. This is truly, truly true. If there's any person who's bringing any negative bullshit next to you, that person is an X, because at any time of transition, whether you're transitioning into a better place or you're transitioning into a negative place, you really need to look at the people who are surrounding you, because the people who are surrounding you can either want the best for you or want the worst for you. So people who see you going down might want to use that moment to make you even go lower. People who see you go up might want to use that moment to lift themselves with you, and at times what they end up doing, they end up leeching on you and shit like that. So you have to be very, very self-aware and self-conscious of the people who are around you in any transitional period of your life, whether it's your career, your spiritual transitioning, or in any other transitioning period of your life. You really need to have a strong supportive network of family and friends, people who you understand, people who you have a very strong spiritual bond with, so to speak. For me, myself, I've come to find methods of coping without having to really lay back on family and friends. And one way that I do it is through, as I said, this podcast. I usually come here, and when I just talk and I usually just open up and talk about myself. Basically that's what I'm doing. I'm just like talking about myself, talking to myself, for myself, and hoping that it helps the people who are listening in as well. This is just me doing my own remedy and my own therapy, and hoping that it helps someone in the fucking process. So I usually do not have friends or family that I actually talk to or tell people this shit. So some of my family members who actually come and listen to my podcast, they end up understanding who I am and understanding all the shit that I've been through. Some of my friends who do not understand me as well, when they come and they listen in here, they'll be like, "Oh shit, Steven never even tells us this stuff." So this is like a place where I actually open up onto a lot of shit. So careers, in conclusion, as we wrap up this podcast, careers are really, really difficult, mostly if you're sitting in a place where you're not doing anything which is aligned to who you are as a person. Man, I remember when I was working as a phone technician, bro. I am repairing phones. I know nothing about repairing phones. I do not know anything about physics. I didn't even do physics, bro. I only did humanity subjects, history and CRE and IRE. Like, I know nothing about electronics and shit like that. But like, I don't even love that shit. But I had to do it. Why? Because I needed the money and I needed to survive, and I needed the experience and so on and so forth. So many people find themselves in such circumstances whereby they fear going into new careers. Many spiritual people find themselves whereby they fear venturing into new businesses and into new stuff, fearing whether they will earn money from it, whether they will earn respect from it, whether they will earn status from it. And all these things I'm telling you, my guys, are fucking oblivious. Fucking oblivious. These things will never come if that's your purpose. But if you are truly working for a huge purpose, for something which is greater than you, for something which is bigger than you, for something that works for you, by you, and within you, then I'm sure it's going to be beneficial for you. For anyone who's listening in, for anyone who's listening in, thank you very much for tuning in. I know you have listened and you have learned something that is of high benefit to you, something that's going to help you be a better version, something that's going to help you be a better version of yourself, of course. Just to recap a little bit of the things that I've said. One, we'll start from the top. You have to know the reason why you're doing what you're doing. So you have to know the purpose of what you're doing. You have to know the importance of what you're doing, and then you have to start taking risks. This motherfucker. Yeah, so as I was saying, number one, you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. You need to find the importance of what you're doing. You need to find the why of what you're doing. Number two, you need to start taking risks. Do it, and do it fucking now. Just fucking do it. Stop overthinking, stop thinking too much. Just fucking jump into it and fucking do it already. Number three, change your mental. You have to change your mentality and make sure that you have, and you realize where you are, and you can actually tell fact from fiction and know your reality at the moment. And finally, make sure you have a supportive network of family, of friends that you can actually talk to about your career transitions and any other transitions. People who can actually give you advice, who can help you climb this ladder a little bit easier, and people who can actually show you the way. For me, I have you guys because you're my career anyway. So when I talk to you people, I always I boost my career. So thank you very much for listening in. I know you have had a wonderful listen. How long was this? Like 45 minutes. I'm sure it's like 42 minutes tops. Thank you for listening in. My name is Steven Azan, your host with the most, and that is HaXans for all your beautiful guys who are listening in. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video. So if you're a young person who's struggling to find your passion and purpose in the workplace, or if you're facing a career transition and you do not know where to start, I really hope that this episode has been beneficial and truthful for you. Thank you for tuning in to Ubuntu Podcast. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more insight and inspiration on personal development and self-improvement. Deuces.